Hello, good morning, everyone. So sorry for coming in late this morning. I had a little technical issues which had to be sorted out, but thank God I'm good to go at this point. So I'm very, very sorry for coming in late. And thank you, Carrie, for holding up for me while I was absent on this one. So, good morning, everyone. I hope my apologies are accepted, please. All right. Please kindly confirm you can hear me and you can see my screen by typing hi in the comment section so that I'm sure that we are all on the same page and let's get this session started. Okay. Okay, Ashitaka, I'm around. Good morning, 359. Good morning. Okay. All right. I want to confirm. Oh, okay, great. Oh, great. I think that's I will see this as a confirmation that clearly heard and my screen is seen. So I want to welcome you all to yet another promising session of Extreme Speed Live, hosted by my humble self, Sharif Daramola. And in the next 1 hour, I will be taking you on a trading journey where we shall be evaluating the financial market using technical parameters to identify trading opportunities lining up for us during the New York session today. And before I go further, it's important that we note that today is the last trading day of the week, and it's peculiar with Friday that we need to be very, very cautious of taking new trades on this one. So most of the time on Fridays, we want to be um, rounding off on the existing trade we already have, and if we do have a very, very strong trading opportunity, I will be sharing it with you. And if it's necessary for us to take a trade on any pair, I will let you know during the session. And also, if you have any pair or commodity you want us to look at, feel free to drop it in the comment section and I will be willing to inculcate it into our plans for today. So once again, I'm sorry for coming in late. Please accept my apologies and let's dive into the chat and let's see what is happening in the market at this point in time. Now, the first pair we are going to be looking at as usual is going to be the US oil. And what do we have on the US oil? And on the US oil, we begin to have a momentum that appears to be bullish at this point. And I think this is a scenario that lines up with those who are counter trend traders. During the course of yesterday's live session, we were able to identify this channel right between the $83 level and the $81.50 area after citing that impulsive move to the downside. So we saw this move to the downside yesterday and we caught this channel which was identified. And one thing we said here is that considering that price has been oscillating within the channel, emphasizing the indecision during the early hours of yesterday's trading session, we want to be patient enough to look out for signals which is going to come in the form of a breakout of the structure. So we had two scenarios we were looking at yesterday. We were looking at if we have a breakout of the structure to the downside, we will be taking advantage of the selling momentum at a retest of structure. But what happened the other way, the opposite direction is what happened. We saw the breakout of the structure of the $83 level and price came back to do a retest of the channel to give us further confirmation to join the rally to the upside. Remember I stated yesterday that if price breaks above the $83 level, we want to be seeing this as a retracement move of the previous impulse leg that we cited around this point. So we had this impulsive move to the downside here. So we said, okay, fine. If we have a breakout of that structure, a retest giving us a confirmation, we want to see this as a retracement move back into somewhere within our golden zone area, which is right between the $85 mark and the $89 area, which we identified as our sell window. So for counter trend traders and for those who love taking short-term trades, if you are taking advantage of this move yesterday, kudos to you for identifying that opportunity. And right now you will be in about how many pips right now? With about 180 pips in profit at this point, so that's not bad anyway. So what we want to be doing at this point is to lock in some profit. So you can either lock in some profit or you move your stop loss to break even. The reason why we are doing that is simply because we want to protect our position against any sudden move that could happen. Remember, we are on a very long-term bearish momentum here. We were able to identify this channel during the live session yesterday, and we don't want to get caught up in any sudden move to the downside here. So we want to move our stop loss to break even or lock in some profits at this point. So now that we have done this, what is going to be our plan against the New York session today? So in order to do that, the first thing I want to be doing right now is to scale up to the higher time frame, and the reason why that is simply because of those who were not part of the session yesterday. We want to let them know how we got to this point, how we got to this level that we are right now. So the next first thing we'll do now is to scale up a little into the daily time frame and see what we have here. So on the daily time frame, like we've always mentioned since the beginning of the week, price has been on a very strong bullish momentum. We can see that, and this is evident with the connection of the higher lows here to give us that resultant bullish trend line. And what happened in the last couple of weeks was actually tending towards a bullish momentum. As we can see, we had a very strong consolidation phase right around that bullish trend line, and we were actually thinking that price is going to continue to the upside from this point. And with a key level at the $85 area, remember we had a key level at $85 area, which has been a major determinant of price action in the past. You can see in the month of October/November, we saw how this level has been a major determinant for selling opportunities. Then we saw a breakout retest of the structure in the month of January this year, and then price went as far as the, what was that, I think the $130 area, before we saw a retracement back into this bullish trend line, and we were thinking price would likely go to the upside, but that did not happen. I will show you what happened, and we had a significant breakdown of that bullish trend line in the last 1 week. And during the course of the Wednesday trading session, we saw the significant breakdown of the $85 level, and we want to see this as a signal of a bearish momentum. And since we had this breakdown of the structure, remember, from a technical standpoint, whenever we cite a breakdown of structure like this, we expect that price would come back to do a retest of the structure. So is price going to do a retest of the $85 level, or price is still going to go as far as respecting the bullish trend line here, after which we'll be looking out for patterns that support a trend continuation to the downside? So this is one thing we are going to be looking at today on the US oil. So in order to do this, we want to scale down to the 4 hours time frame. And on the 4 hours time frame, what did we do here yesterday on the 4 hours time frame? We were able to identify this channel, which price has been respecting since the later part of the month of August. As you can see, price has consistently found lower lows and lower highs, though we had an outright breakout here, which appears to be a false one, and price came back into the channel and it continued to respect the channel. Now we saw a breakdown of this channel, and then we saw price caught within a consolidation phase right around the $83 level and the $81.50 area, evolving into a double bottom structure. We saw a breakout of the structure, a retest of the structure, and price continue to the upside on this one. So looking at the structure we have here on the 4 hours time frame, what do you see? Well, we have the $83 level. Remember, we identified between the $83 level and the $81.50 area as a channel yesterday where we were waiting for a breakout. But if you look closely into the structure, you can see that the structure evolved into a reversal pattern in the form of a double bottom structure, which from a technical standpoint is a very, very strong reversal pattern especially on higher time frame like this. So with the second retest of that 81, we saw a breakout. We saw our price took us out into above the $81.50. Then we saw a retest of structure, which we joined the rally to upside here. So after moving your stop loss to break even right now, so what are we going to be looking at now? Now, the first thing we want to be looking at is the $85 level, which is, if you remember vividly what I show you on the daily time frame. Let's go back to the daily time frame so that we can see what I'm talking about. So we had this $85 level, which has been a major determinant of price action. If you look into the past, you can see that this area has been a selling niche. Then we saw a breakout retest of the structure here. Then we saw the breakdown of the structure during the course of this week's trading session, giving us a signal of a bearish momentum. So now going back to our 4 hours time frame. So what I'm saying right now is this: is price going to reject that $85 level? That is, are we going to be having a move like this where price comes into this 85, hold on a second, comes into this $85 level with multiple rejection that will be sending price going to the downside from that point? So this is what we want to be looking at. So if I were you, you are in this trade already, you took advantage of this counter opportunity. One thing I'll be saying is that as soon as price tests the $85 level, you want to lock in more profit at this point, because we never can tell what is going to be happening around this level. So what we want to be doing is to see how price is going to relate with this $85 level during the New York session today, to see if we are going to be having a reversal pattern here, or probably multiple rejection, hereby turning this area into a selling niche for participants to push price to the downside. That is one scenario. Then the other scenario is if we are going to be having a breakout of that structure, and if a breakout happens, that's a good sign for those who took advantage of that counter trend. And then if we could have price reject that area and push to the upside from here. So that is another scenario we want to be looking forward to. However, considering the long-term bearish momentum here on the US oil, like I said, we identified the sell window around this area, which falls within the golden zone of our previous impulse leg. And what do I mean by the golden zone? The golden zone area is the area between the 50 and the 78.6% of the previous impulse leg. So how did we get there? We bring out our Fibonacci retracement tool, run it through the previous impulse leg here from that point into the $81.50 area, and we have right between the $50 and the 78.6% as an area that we are actually looking for a selling opportunity. And this is from a long-term perspective. So for a selling opportunity here right now, so what are we looking forward to is somewhere around this area. Price comes back into the sell window area, probably as far as the resistance level of the descending channel, which we identified here. Then probably look out for reversal pattern or multiple rejection of this area. Then a breakout retest of structure on lower time frame gives us further confirmation to join the decline to the downside on this one. So for those who are in this trade as a counter trend opportunity, you want to be having your take profit target right around the sell window here, or the resistance point here between the 86 and the $89 area, because we want to see, we are actually looking forward to a selling opportunity right within the sell window which we identified here. So if we are going to be selling, where will our take profit target be? Well, the only way we can know that is to use the previous impulse leg which we have here by extending it into the future, that is projecting it into the future, like this using our Fibonacci extension tool. If we run it through the impulse leg, hold on, so if we run it through the previous impulse leg here, what do we have? We aim at somewhere around between the 127.2 and the 1414 area, which falls around the $78 point here. So this is not likely to happen today. Remember, today is the last trading day of the week. We're just hoping, we're just speculating, getting ourselves prepared for this opportunity that is likely going to happen. So we have the TP target around this area. So this is what we are going to be looking forward to. against the next week trading session. So what we are going to be doing today is to look at how price is going to relate with the $85 mark area. So like I told you, if price breaks above this area or touches this area, please lock some profit. You can move your stop loss to somewhere around the 85 or $84 area to protect your position on this one. So this is how we want to trade the US oil today. If you have any questions, feel free to drop a comment or your inquiry in the comment section, and I will be willing to be of help. So I'll be taking the next 10 to 15 seconds to read through the chart to see if there are any questions regarding what I've just discussed so far before we move on to the next pair. Okay, Geopoker, good morning. Max 2, good morning to you. You boss, good morning. $714, good morning. $640, good morning. All right, in the absence of none, let's move on to the next pair. And the next pair we are going to be looking at is the US Tech. On the US Tech, we're already profitable on the US Tech, and price has continued to move in the direction as projected. So now, let's see what happened in the last 24 hours here. This is what we projected yesterday. We saw the breakout of this channel. Remember, we identified this $12,000 area, and price was caught within this phase since the beginning of the week. We saw this impulsive move last week, and since then price has been caught within this channel before we saw this false breakout that happened here, and we were taken out at break even. Price came back into the $12,000 zone area. We saw multiple rejection of the zone, and we witnessed this impulsive move to the upside during the early hours of yesterday's trading session. And we were around this point yesterday when during the live session, when we explained that we are looking forward to a retracement after considering this impulsive move to the upside. So we were actually looking forward to a retracement back into our golden zone area within the buy zone here, where we were looking for buying opportunity to take advantage of the potential trend continuation to the upside. So right now, what happened during the course of New York session yesterday, we saw a sharp rejection of the buy zone. So the first one happened around I think 2 hours into the New York session yesterday. We saw the first rejection of the buy zone. Price came sharply into that buy zone area. I actually missed this one. Price came up, broke above the $12,250 area with an engulfing candle, and then we saw the second rejection of this area, resulting into a double bottom structure. And when I saw that move, I quickly placed my buy stop right around the $12,250 area, and price has continued to rally in that direction in the last 10 hours now. Price has continued to rally in that direction. So right now, if you are taking advantage of that move, first of all, kudos to you for identifying that. And if you are taking that move, you will be in over 200 pips in profit at this point in time. So on the US Tech, price action has moved exactly as we have expected here. And one thing we want to be doing at this point is to lock in some profit. It's either you lock in some profit or you move your stop loss to break even at this point. And our take profit target remains somewhere around the $12,500 area and the 12,750 area. I will share with you why we have it around that area. But for me personally, I place my my take profit target right around the bearish trend line here, which is around the 12,510 area, which will be giving me around 300 pips on this one. So that's where my take profit target is, but it could be extended. So one thing I'm actually waiting for is to see how price is going to relate with this level. Are we going to be having a rejection of this level to the downside, or is price going to break out of that bearish trend line with an intention of a trend continuation to the upside? So this is what I'll be waiting for during the New York session. And for those who actually missed out on how we got to this point, so let's quickly run through the holistic perspective by scaling up into the daily time frame. So on the daily time frame, what did we observe here on the US tech? Well, on the US tech on the daily time frame, price action has been on a very strong bearish momentum since the beginning of this year, and we were able to connect the series of lower highs to give us this resultant bearish trend line. And remember, we took this move right from the 12,000, is it 13,500 area, right down into the neckline at the $12,000 area in the, I think, since the second week of August, we scooped about 1,400 pips on the US tech. And after identifying this bearish trend line here, what was the next thing we did? We were able to identify a key level at the $12,000 area, which we are also calling our neckline. And how did we get to that? If you look at the ascending channel here, we had an ascending channel here. You can see our price respected, though we had a false breakout of that area. Then price came back to this point, breaking down the ascending channel here. But before the ascending channel started, we identified a double bottom structure, a reversal pattern here. Price came here, we saw the second touch, then we witnessed the breakout retest of the neckline area at the $12,000 point. So we have the neckline here, price climbed up, and then what did we see? We saw price coming back into the neckline, and we saw multiple rejection of this neckline in the last 5 to 6 days before we started seeing this impulsive move to the upside. So now with the current scenario we have here on the daily time frame, there are two perspectives we want to be looking forward to. Remember, price broke down this ascending channel here. We saw the breakdown of this ascending channel, and from a technical standpoint, whenever we cite a breakdown like this, we expect that price breaks down the channel, that price is likely going to come back and do a retest of the structure before we might likely be looking forward to a reversal pattern here that will be sending price crashing to the downside, or we could be having a breakout of this bearish trend line to push price to the upside. So there are two scenarios that we could be looking forward to. The first one is the retest of the structure. So somewhere around here appears to be a take profit target zone for this buying opportunity that's already running at this point in time. So if this happens, we want to be taking our profits around this area, that is between the $12,500 area and the 12,800 area, after which we want to see how price is going to relate with this level, if we are going to be having a downtrend continuation or we're going to be having a breakout of that structure. So going into the New York session today, what is going to be our plans? Do we still have any opportunity to join this move to the upside? Well, to do that, we want to scale down to a lower time frame. Let's see what's happening on the 4 hours time frame. Is the 4 hours time frame enough for us to, okay, we have, okay, on the 4 hours time frame right now. So what we are looking forward to at this point is to see price come into the support level of the ascending channel, which was broken here, remember. And so we are looking for price to come within this area. Let's see how price relates with this level. Are we going to be having a reversal pattern here, or are we going to be having a breakout of the structure to join a rally with the rally back into the ascending channel that was identified earlier? So this is how we intend to trade the US tech. So for those who are taking advantage of this move, well, like I said earlier, kindly move your stop loss to break even at this point, and let's see how this is going to play out. Now, for those who had missed this trade yesterday, those who had missed this opportunity yesterday, let's see if we still have another opportunity to join this momentum. So in order to do that, we'll scale down into the 1 hour time frame, and let us see what structure we have here on the 1 hour time frame. Now, on the 1 hour time frame, we have a very strong level at the $12,400 area, and if we look left, we can see how this level has been a major determinant of price action. If we go to as far back as the later part of the month of August, we saw how this area was a demand zone for participants in this market, pushing price to the upside. Then as soon as price broke down that level again, in the later part of August as well, it became a selling niche for participants in this market. We saw it happen again during the second day of the month of September here, where sellers pushed price to the downside from that point. But what happened here in the last couple of hours here on the US tech, I mean during the early hours of today, we saw a breakout of that area, giving us a signal that this bullish momentum could be here to stay. So if you, as we go into the New York session today, and especially for those who had missed out on this trade, let's see how price is going to play out. So since we had the breakout of the structure right now, let's see if price is going to come back into the $12,400 area. And if price do come back into this area, what we want to be looking out for is multiple rejection of this level. It could come in form of multiple rejection of this level or a sharp rejection of this level to push price to the upside, or we could be having a reversal pattern which could come in form of a double bottom, a inverse head and shoulder pattern, a falling wedge, whatever it is. Then we could join the rally to the upside here. So if we are going to be joining from here, that is, this is the second opportunity that we will be having. Let's label this area. So we have a second opportunity. Let's see if the market is going to give us that privilege. Let's label this one. I want to label this area second opportunity. So we want to see if the market is going to give us the second a privilege to add more position to this trade. So for those who are in this trade already, you might want to be adding more position to this trade, and for those who are not in this trade, you might be looking to take advantage of that move. Now there is another structure here which we had here yesterday. We had a supply zone around this point. Remember, we had a supply zone around the $12,300 area which was broken. Hold on a second, which was broken to the upside. So if price does not reject this place and price comes to as far as this area again, we could be looking forward to another opportunity to join the rally to the upside. So we have two zones that we want to be looking out for. Second opportunity, the first one around this area. Sorry, we have somewhere around the $12,300 area, and we have somewhere around the 12,400 area. So you might be confused now that, oh, how do I know how to get into this trade? Well, the only way we can know is if we see multiple rejection at any point in time. So if we see multiple rejection by buyers here, then we should get ourselves prepared, looking at the lower time frame for breakout retest of structure to join the rally. And if we do have a breakdown of the $12,400 area, then the next point we want to be looking forward to is somewhere around the $12,300 area, which we identified here, which was a selling zone for participants in the market before. So we come here and wait for multiple rejection by buyers, then we can join the rally to the upside. And if we join from this point and price breaks above the $12,400 area one more time, retest of it, we should be adding more trade to our existing position. So going into the New York session today, our take profit target still remains around the $12,500 and the $12,800 area. So for me personally, what I'll be doing here is to wait for price to come back again so that I can add more position to my trade. And if that happens, then I want to be extending my TP to somewhere around the $12,800 area on the US tech. So once again, kudos to those who took advantage of this move on the US tech, and let's see how price action plays out during the New York session today. So that is that on the US tech. If you have any questions, feel free to drop your inquiries in the comment section, and I will be taking some time to look at what is happening in the comment section to see if there are any inquiries in that regard before we move on to the next pair. So what's happening in the comment section? Let's quickly look at it and see if we have any inquiries so far. Let's see. Adua Benta, I hope I pronounce that correctly, is asking if GPUSD is buy or sell. Okay, I'll pen that down. Let's see if we can inculcate that into our schedule for today, and we'll look at that. 492 is also asking for GPUSD. All right, I think GPUSD is already gaining audience here, so let's pen that down. We will look at that. Okay, 131 is asking for how this works. Well, this is a platform where traders come together and we pull out random pairs and commodities. We try as much as possible to identify trading opportunities against the New York session on a daily basis. So this is what we simply do here. We come here, bring out random pairs and commodity, look at the chart, evaluate it, and decide if we are going to be having trading opportunities on this one against the New York session. So we do this on a daily basis. So stay tuned in, and with time you get to understand how this run. Okay, 131. Teru Bengal. Okay, good morning to you. Micah Burrs. Okay, all right. GPUSD again. Someone is asking for GPUSD. All right, so let's see how we can do that. Then 5544 is asking US oil long or sell. I explained that earlier about the US oil. Please, if you had missed it, please stay tuned in so that you can be informed, because I normally do a recap of whatever we've done so far. So stay tuned in. At the end of the session, I will be sharing with you a recap of what we talked about on the US oil. Okay, so let's see who else. All right, so let's move on to the next pair. The next pair we're going to be looking at is the US tech. In fact, the US tech was so massive for us yesterday, and I was able to take over 250 pips on the USD JPY rather. So let's look at the USD JPY. The USD JPY moved really well for us yesterday, and this is what we saw yesterday. Remember, we identified, no, 2 days ago I told you how we can take advantage of any bearish momentum if we sight a reversal pattern around this point, around the 145 Japanese yen area, remember. And lo and behold, we saw that pattern form on the lower time frame, the 15 minutes time frame, and we joined the decline to the downside on this one. And we were around this point yesterday. Where were we yesterday? I think around here. Hold on a second. Let's identify that. So we were around here yesterday. We were around this point yesterday, and I told you that for those who actually missed this move, that is this bearish move here that went to this area, I identified a level at the $144 area that if price comes back to do a retest of this level, then you could join the decline, and lo and behold, that happened. So personally, I also had another position right below the $144 area, and since then price has continued to rally to the downside. Now remember, we identified this area as our first take profit target zone, somewhere around the bullish trend line, which we identified on the 1 hour time frame here. And I told you that the reason why we identify that area, I think we said, okay, we said that if price comes into this area, we want to lock in some profit. And the reason why we are doing that is simply because this is a bullish trend line, and we want to see how price is going to relate with this level. So is price going to respect that level? That's what we were saying yesterday. Price respected with multiple rejection, moving price to the upside, or is price going to break down that bearish trend line in the whereby a retest of structure will give us further confirmation to join the decline to the downside? So lo and behold, what happened? We saw a breakdown of that structure in the last couple of hours now. And this is giving us a signal that the bearish momentum on this one is very strong. So what I'll be saying first of all here is, for those who have been in this trade since in the last 2 days now, kudos to you for being in the trade, for staying strong, be persistent to stay on in this trade. And the next thing we want to be doing right now is to lock in some profit, or you move your stop loss to break even, whichever suits you. So that's the first thing we want to be doing here, locking some profit at this point, and let's see how we could take advantage of a trend continuation during the New York session today, if there is any. Now, for those who have missed out on this, who are not part of the session yesterday, well, what I'll be doing now is to scale up to the higher time frame so that we can see how we got to this point. Now, scaling up into the daily time frame, what do we have on the daily time frame? The structure we have on a daily time frame is very bullish. We can see how price action has been on a very strong bullish momentum since the beginning of the year, and this is evident with this bullish trend line that was drawn after connecting the series of higher lows. We can see we had the first low here in April, we had a second one in May, and we had this double bottom structure here in the month of August, and price has continued to find higher highs and higher lows. Now, there is something interesting I want to share with you here. If we look at what happened since the beginning of the month of August, since the month of July rather, we saw this impulsive move as soon as price tested the 139 Japanese yen level. Price came back to do a retest of that bullish trend line, evolving into a double bottom structure, which from a technical standpoint is a very strong reversal pattern. And with the sight of that reversal pattern here, the second touch of that bullish trend line gave us a clue that a bullish momentum is evolving. Then we saw the breakout of the neckline, and price has continued to rally to the upside on the USD JPY. And from a technical standpoint like this, whenever we sight a breakout of structure like this, we expect that price is going to come back to do a retest of that structure. But since the breakout happened in the month of August, price has at no point come down to the neckline again to do a retest of that structure. So in the last 1 week, we've been expecting that retest is going to happen. That is, the bearish momentum is going to happen in such a way that price comes back to either respect this bullish trend line or the neckline around this area, where we look out for patterns that support a trend continuation to the upside. Remember, the USD JPY is really on a very strong bullish momentum, and we're still hoping that price will come back into that bullish trend line or the neckline area at the 135 Japanese yen for us to join the bullish momentum. And lo and behold, in the last couple of days now, we saw this multiple rejection of the 145 Japanese yen area, giving us a clue of the beginning of a retracement phase. And right now, we begin to see how price has been doing in the last 24 hours now. So what we want to be doing now is to scale down to a much lower time frame, and let us see how we can take advantage of this move, especially for those who were not part of this trades in the last 2 days. So scaling down to the 4 hours time frame, what do we have on the 4 hours time frame? Well, on the 4 hours time frame, the first thing we did here, sorry, let me delete this. For us to have a clear screen. Okay, we still have a structure. We have a structure around the 140.800 area, which we are still looking forward to. So that is where my next take profit target is at this moment in time. So the first thing we observe here on the 4 hours time frame is this: price has been on a very strong bullish momentum, and because of that, we were able to connect the series of higher lows here to give us this resultant bullish trend lines. You can see in the last 2 weeks now, we see how price has consistently respected this bullish trend line to give us a trend continuation. However, in the last 6 to 7 hours now, we have seen a significant breakdown. We are not sure this candle is yet to close. This one running at this moment, I think is about 2 hours old, and we'll still have 2 hours for this candle to close. So let's see how this candle is going to close. So now that we have price right below that bullish trend line, this is giving us a signal that this bearish momentum appears to be very strong at this point in time. So what I'll be doing here, for those who are not part of this trade, is to be patient. For those who are in this trade, all you just need to do is continue to extend your TP target and move your stop loss accordingly to protect your position. So for those who are not in this trade, what I'll be saying right now is that you want to be patient enough to wait for another entry, another opportunity. So how do we do that? We have a structure right now at the, hold on a second, at the 140.800 Japanese yen level, and the reason why that is we had this area, which was a selling niche for participants in this market. I think this is the area where participants were actually trying to push price to the upside, but they were taken out of their selling position as we saw a breakout of that structure. So what I want to be looking forward to at this point is there is a possibility that price could come back to do a retest of this 140.800 area, where it's very likely that we will be witnessing a multiple rejection of this level by the buyers with in an attempt to do a trend continuation to the upside. That is one scenario. So there is this scenario that could happen. Price comes within this area, probably turn into a reversal pattern, push price to the upside. But remember, we have a bullish trend line that was broken. And from a technical standpoint like this, whenever we cite a breakdown of structure, we expect that price will break down that structure, do a retest of that structure to send price crashing in the direction of the prior leading price action. And in this case, the prior leading price action in this case is bearish. So there is a likelihood that price could reject this level. Let's see. Reject this level, push this level to the upside in such a way that price comes back to do a retest of the bullish trend line with an intention of a downtrend continuation. So these are what we're going to be looking out for. So the patience you're going to be having here might be very, very long, because this formation could take, let's say, 2-3 days before it would evolve. So what we want to be doing is to be patient. So if you had missed that move, it's time to be patient right now. Wait for price to come around this area. Then you want to wait to price to do a retest of the structure before we see a trend continuation to the downside on the USD JPY. Remember, we're expecting that price will still come back to respect that either that bullish trend line or the neckline at the 135 Japanese yen area, which we identified on the daily time frame. So that's the scenario we are looking forward to on the USD JPY, and it's not likely that this will happen today. So for those who are in this trade, well, glad you took the opportunity. So just keep extending your TP as price continue to move in our direction. Now let's scale down to a much lower time. Let's see if there is a short-term opportunity for those who love doing short-term trade. So now on the 1 hour time frame here, we have a structure around this area which I cited while looking at this. Have a structure. Let me bring out my line chart so that we can have, okay, so we have somewhere around here between this point, somewhere around the 143. Yeah, we have somewhere around the 143. Let's relabel this one to 143. So if during the New York session today, if we have price come back into this area, during the New York session today, and we see multiple rejection, we could actually join that decline. Into the 140 area. Remember, we still want to see how price is going to relate with this level. So we won't want to be too over ambitious on this one. So we want to see how price related with this level. So if the price comes back into this point, and then we see multiple rejection of the 143 area, which also shares a confluence with that bearish trend line, with that bullish trend line rather, then we want to join the decline, which will be giving us about how many pips that is, about 200 pips, which is not bad anyway. So let's see if price is going to give us another chance to join this decline during the New York session today. So let's be patient on this one and see how this level is going to play out. So if you have any question on the USD JPY, feel free to drop a word or two in the comment section, and let's see how we can be of help here. Okay. All right. So let's move on. The next pair we are going to be looking at is the GBP card. What happened? What's happening on the GBP card? Let's see. Okay. The JP card has been very choppy in the last 24 hours, and we were around this point yesterday. Hold on a second, let me show you. We were around this point yesterday, and remember we took the sell opportunity 2 days ago. We took this one 3 days ago. We've been taking a selling opportunity, selling position on the GBP card since the beginning of the week, and right now, since the beginning of the week, we took a bullish momentum. Remember, we saw this double bottom structure here. We took the breakout retest of the structure, and price continued to the upside. And then we moved our stop loss to lock in some profits, and we were taking out of our position with a little with a little profit to take home. And then we saw this breakdown of the structure here with multiple rejection of the 1.51750 level, took advantage of the selling opportunity to the downside here, and since then price has been rejecting the 1.51400 area. And if you are joined this move to the downside from this point, please and please just move your stop loss to break even at this point, because it is a very choppy scenario here, and the only way I will be confident in this position of selling the JP card is to see a breakdown of the 1.50500 area. So as long as price continue to reject this area, that is buyers continue to reject this area, then I'll be very dicey about. So I'm not in a trade on this GBP card right now, so I'm still waiting for price to break down this level to give me a confirmation that a bearish momentum is imminent on this one. So what I'm looking forward to is a breakdown of the structure. That's a signal, and remember we are not getting too excited, as we want to wait for price to give us further confirmation in the form of a retest of the structure to join the decline to the downside. So that is how I intend to trade the GBP card. However, if at any point in time a breakout of the 1.51400 happens, that is a significant breakout and engulfing candle taking price out of the selling opportunities, selling positions here, then that is likely going to be a signal for a reversal pattern. So if that happens, then I want to see price come back to do a retest of the 1.51400 area. Look out for patterns on lower time frame that supports a trend continuation to join the rally to the upside, and with the take profit target at around the 1.52700 at least for the main time. So that is that on the GBP card. Nothing much here. And then let's move on to the USD CHF, which has been so profitable for us this week. I think the USD CHF is our trade for the week. And on the USD CHF, in fact, we had two opportunities on Tuesday / Wednesday where we took advantage of the multiple rejection of the bullish trend line here. Remember, during the early days of the week, we saw the signal breakdown of this bullish trend line, and then price came back to do the retest of the bullish trend line, just following it followed a theoretical technical pattern. Price came back to retest this bullish trend line, and we saw multiple rejection, and we joined right at the 0.98500 area, and we took this move right down into the 0.96700 area during the course of yesterday's trading session. So the first take profit target, we had two positions running here around 125 and 130, so about 250 pips here. And then during the course of yesterday's trading session, we had price so we saw this move. Price came back to do a sharp rejection of the 0.97570 area, and with the sharp rejection here, I took another position right from that point, and price is with the take profit target at the key level at 0.95700 area, and price as with about 180 pips move. So this is our trade for the week. The USD CHF has we scooped in a lot of profit on this one, so kudos to you all if you were part of this journey. And for those who are not part of this journey, well, how do we intend to trade the USD CHF during the New York session today? Well, the first thing I want to say here is let's look at what is happening on the daily time frame first of all, and then let's see if we still have another opportunity on the USD CHF. Now on the USD CHF on the daily time frame, the first thing you observe here is that price has been on a very strong bullish momentum since the beginning of the year, and this is evident with the connection of these higher lows here to identify this bullish trend line we have here. Now, the second thing I did here was to identify the key level at the 0.95700 area. You will agree that this level has been a major determinant in the past. We saw the breakout of that structure in the month of April this year. Then price came back into the structure in the month of June. We saw buying opportunity from that area. And then in the later part of the month of June / July, we saw another buying opportunity at this point. Then we saw a breakdown in the month of July / August, retest of structure, taking price down into the bullish trend line, and we saw a breakout retest of that structure one more time, which also shares a confluence with this bearish trend line we identified here, We saw the breakout of this bearish trend line. So that breakout of that structure gave us that bullish signal that we were looking for, and we took the rally right up into this level. So at the beginning of the week, we cited this supply zone here at the 0.98500 area. We can see how this level has been a major selling niche for participants in this market. In the past, we saw in the month of July how this area was a selling momentum, and during the later part of last week trading session stroke the early days of this week, we saw multiple rejection of that area, and that's triggered that bearish bias that we were looking at during the beginning of the week, and we took advantage of that move right into the key level right now. So price is right at the key level, so I've already taken my profit on this one. So one thing I'll be advising you to do right now is to take your profit on the USD CHF if you had been in that move since the beginning of the week. So right now, what we want to be doing during the New York session today is to see how price is going to relate with this key level at the 0.95700 area. Remember, this key level has been a major determinant of price action in the past. You can see, like I showed you earlier, we can see how this level has been. We saw a breakout retest of this level at this point too as well. We saw a sharp rejection here during the month of August, and right now we are at that point again. So this is a very, very sensitive area. This is a very key level and a very strong psychological point that we need to be patient to see how price is going to relate with this level. And this is not going to, I'm not sure we'll be able to make a decision on this one today, considering that today is the last trading day of the week. But let's see how things go. Now, the second thing I want us to look at is this bearish trend line. After connecting the series of lower highs here since the month of June, we can see how price has respected. So we connected this, we saw a breakout retest of that bearish trend line here. So between the 0.95700 area and this bearish trend line is an area we want to look at. It's a very, very sensitive area between the 0.95700, this bearish trend line. Hold on a second, let me show you this bearish trend line, and you can see the bullish trend line as well. This bullish trend line, the dark one here. Let me make this thicker to emphasize the importance of that bullish trend line. So you can see, so this is an area we need to be looking forward to in the next couple of days, because I'm not sure this is going to happen today, but the market's unpredictable anyway. So there's a likelihood that price will break down that key level at 0.95700, come back into the bullish trend line with an intention of going to the upside, or we could even have an outright rejection of this key level here, thereby sending price going to the upside. So let's scale down to a lower time frame and let's see what has been happening since the beginning of today. So when we scale down to the 1 hour time frame right now, let's see, I think 1 hour time frame is okay. So on the 1 hour time frame now, we can see we have an engulfing candle rejecting that 0.95700 area. That is the key level we identified on the daily time frame. So this is, could this be a bullish signal? Could this be a bullish signal? Well, we need to be patient, because we want to see a reversal pattern evolve on this place, from this place, to be thinking of this as a bullish momentum. So we want to see the first retest of this area. If we see a second retest of this area, that is, price does not break below the previous low here, then we want to be looking forward to a reversal pattern in the form of a breakout retest to structure to join the rally to the upside. And remember, this is a long-term bearish momentum this week, so this bullish momentum is likely going to be a retracement phase of the previous impulse leg that we have here. So remember, we have this impulsive move to the downside here, and if we have a reversal pattern from this point during the New York session today, well, then we could be looking forward to a bullish potential opportunity at a breakout retest of that reversal pattern to join the rally to the upside. That is, if you are comfortable with a counter trend opportunity, you could take advantage of that move. But if you are a long-term trader, you want to wait at a bus stop around the golden zone area, where we want to be looking for selling opportunities to join the decline to the downside. So where is our selling window going to be at? Well, it's going to be within our golden zone area, which is the between the 50 and the 78.6% of the previous impulse leg that we identify here. So we don't know when this impulse leg is going to end. That is this one. We don't know when this impulse leg is going to end. Remember, this impulse it could still go as far as this area. It could still go as far as the bearish trend line we identify here. The only way we can know this impulse leg has ended is when we sight a reversal pattern. It could be your double bottom structure. It could be your inverse head and shoulder pattern, breakouts of structure. Then we know the retracement phase has ended. Then we could join the counter trend opportunity with the intention of joining a decline to the downside. So on the USD CHF, what I'll be advising us to do here is to remain patient and wait to see how price action will relate with the 0.95700 level area before we can actually make a decision on this one. So that is how we want to look at the USD CHF during the New York session today. We really don't have a trade to take. We are not impulsive to take a trade on the USD CHF at this point in time. We are already profitable on this pair, so let's be patient and wait for price action to give us that opportunity. Then we went on to talk about the silver yesterday, where we saw a bullish momentum, and I hope Ashitaka, is it Ashitaka that gave us the silver? I think so. I think it's Ashitaka that gave us that silver. So let's see what happened in the last 24 hours. Remember, during the course of the live session yesterday, we were around this point during the live session today, which was a signal. We were around here, and I told you that if you had missed that breakout retest of the structure here, that is price breaks out retest of this one, you missed this one, then I said there is a likelihood that price could still come back into the key level at $18.50 area, where we want to be looking forward to reversal patterns to join the rally to the upside. And what happened? We saw how price came back into this area during the New York session yesterday. We saw even multiple rejection of this level. So if you had missed the first one, the second one, third one, fourth one, fifth one, and sixth one, in fact, we had a lot of rejection of this zone, and I actually took advantage of this move right above the $18.50 area. And as soon as it got to $18.90 area and I started seeing this move, I opted out of this trade. And right now, for those who are taking advantage of that move and you are still in that trade, well, you will be in profit at this point. At least you will be in the minimum of about 250 pips in profit at this point. And one thing I'll be saying, first of all, is to lock in some profit here, move your stop loss to break even. That is, if you are still in this trade. But if you are not, well done for doing that. But if you are still in this trade, lock in some profit. Now, for those who had missed this trade, what do we want to do to take advantage of this trend continuation to the upside? Well, what we want to be doing here is to take into consideration of this impulsive move that started here yesterday right into the $18.950 area. So if we take this into consideration, what we want to be doing is to look out for this retracement phase to end, and this retracement phase is likely to end within our golden zone area. And the only way we can identify the golden zone area is to bring out our retracement tool, run it through the previous impulse leg here, and then we aim at somewhere around the 50 and the 78.6% area as an area for buy opportunity. So for the sake of clarity, we want to label this area so that we can have a visual understanding of what our expectations are during the New York session today. So we have our buy zone right within this area, right within the $18.60, sorry, $18.64 and the $18.50 area. So if price at any point in time during the New York session today comes within this area, that is, we see price come here, probably do a sharp rejection of the zone, or probably do a reversal pattern within this area, we want to add more position if you are still in this trade. But if you are not, then we want to be joining the trend continuation to the upside with a take profit target sitting where, well, the only way we can do that is to extend this impulse leg into the future using our Fibonacci extension tool with a aim right between the 127.2 and the 1414 area. So if we do that, we have somewhere around the let's see, around the $19.10 area as our TP target. if price comes back into our golden zone area. So this is what we are looking forward to, and that will be dovetailing to a minimum of about 500 pips to catch here if price moves as expected. So this is how we want to see the silver during the New York session today. So I implore us to get ourselves prepared to be able to take advantage of that move when it finally happens. So that is that on the silver. If you have questions, feel free to drop a word or two in the comment section. And I think this is going to be the last pair we're going to be talking about today. Let's see. Someone was asking about GPUSD. Let me see if I can quickly run through the GPUSD for the sake of okay, so let's see what's happening on GPUSD. Okay, I took advantage of this move on Monday, I guess. Yes, on Tuesday I took advantage of this. I took about 100 pips here, and since then I've not looked at the GBPUSD. So let's look at it one more time. Let's delete this so that we can have a clean slate here. Okay, so we have, okay, let's go to the 4 hours time frame here. So on the 4 hours time frame, on the higher time frame is very bearish, and since price dropped into the 1.1400 area, we have been witnessing a reversal structure. So now let's look at this. Let me delete this so that we can, all right. So we have this reversal pattern right here at the 1.14 area. We saw this impulsive move to the downside. As soon as price got into the 1.14500 area, we saw a sharp rejection. Price came back into the 1.15750 area. Then we saw another rejection. Price came back into the 1.1400 level, and then we saw our price continue to the upside, which led to the breakout of the 1.15750 area in the last 8 to 7 hours, 7 to 8 hours right now. Now that we have the breakout of the 1.1570, let me extend this out a little bit. So I want to be seeing this area as my neckline. So right now, we're going to be seeing this as a reversal pattern. Hold on a second. We want to see this as a reversal pattern between here and here. This is a reversal pattern. Then we finally have a breakout of the structure here, which has happened. Now that is a signal for us. That's a bullish signal for us on a long-term perspective here. So what we want to be doing is to be patient enough to wait for price to give us a retest of structure. So how is that going to be happening? We're going to be looking forward to price to come back to do a retest of the structure. It could even come as far as this bearish trend line here, but the most important thing we want to see is reversal pattern. So it could be from this point to the upside, or it could be from this point to the upside. So that's how we want to trend the GPUSD. So let's hold on, be patient. Remember, we have this bearish trend line which was being respected since the later part of August. Let me show you so that you understand what I'm talking about here. So we saw the first touch here, we saw the second touch, then we saw the breakdown retest, we saw a retest of the bearish trend line, retest, then we saw the final breakout of that structure. So when we see a breakout of structure from a technical standpoint like this, we expect that price will come back to do a retest of that structure to give us further confirmation of a trend continuation. So we are looking forward to something like this going forward, and I'm not sure this is going to happen today, but if it does, be ready and prepare to take advantage of that move. And if that happens, somewhere around the 1.18 area is an area where our take profit target will be, which will be dovetailing to at least a minimum of, let's say, 250 pips to catch here as projected. So now let's see if we are going to have multiple rejection of this level. That's one, or we are going to be having a rejection of this level during the New York session today. So that is that on the GPUSD. I hope I was able to make myself clear because I had to rush through it because of time, and I hope that's good. So let's do a quick recap. Okay, Ashitaka, all right. Okay, I hope you understand what I just explained to you here, Ashitaka, on the silver. So okay, so let's quickly do a recap of what we have discussed so far before we call it a day. So the first pair we deliberated on today is the US oil, And on the US oil, we were actually for those who took the counter trend opportunity here, I told you to move your stop loss to break even as we have a breakout of the $83 level. So we want to see price come into the sell window area, which also shares a confluence with the key level and the resistance point of the descending channel we identified here. So what I'm simply saying here is that we want to see price come into this area where we want to be looking for selling opportunities to join the decline to the downside from this point. And if we have multiple rejection of the $85 level, then it's likely that price is going to continue from this point to the downside. Now, for those who took advantage of this counter trend opportunity yesterday, that is the break. Hold on, let me go to the 1 hour time frame so that I can give you a clearer perspective of what we were looking at. So during the course of yesterday, we saw the breakout retest of structure. I shared the scenario with you yesterday, and I told you for those who love counter trend opportunity or short-term trades, you take advantage of this move to the upside. So what I'm saying right now is that as soon as price gets into $85 lag, I think price is in the $85 area right now. So what I'll be saying is to move your stop loss to somewhere around the $84 area, and let's see how price action is going to relate with this level at the 85. What's happening? Okay, $85 area. So let's see how price is going to relate with this level. So if price breaks out that level, then we want to be expecting that price is going to go into the resistance point of the descending channel where we want to be looking for selling opportunities, and this is likely going to be happening next week. So that is that on the US oil. Then we went on to talk about the US tech, where we took advantage of a buying momentum here yesterday, and price moved significantly well in our favor after citing a double rejection of our buy zone, which we identified. We saw the first one, then we saw the second one. I actually missed the first one anyway. Then I took advantage of the second one, and price has continued to the upside from here. So right now price is close to my take profit target. I told you I have a take profit target at the $12,510 area, and I also shared with you a scenario for those who actually missed this opportunity. I said we should wait for the second opportunity if price comes back into the $12,400 area or the $12,300 area. So how is that? So if we see at any point in time price comes back into this area with multiple rejection of this level or a reversal pattern cited, we want to join the rally to the upside. And if price breaks down that $12,400 area, then we want to wait for price to come into the $12,300. If we see multiple rejection, then we can join the rally to the upside from there. So patience is required. Please be patient, and let's see how price will move. Then we moved on to talk about the USD JPY, and on the USD JPY we were able to make some money here on the USD JPY as we rode the move right from the 145 Japanese yen area right into the 142 Japanese yen area. And like I said, we want to see how price is going to relate with this bullish trend line to know if we are going to be going further to the downside or we are going to be having a rejection of this level to push price to the upside. So right now price has broken down that bullish trend line here that we have that. So I said for those who missed out on this opportunity, we could be having another opportunity if price comes back to do a retest of the 143 Japanese yen level. If we see multiple rejection of that area, then we could join the decline to somewhere around the 140.800 area, which we calculated to dovetail into somewhere around the 200 pips profit. So that's how we want to trade. So that's how we want to trade the USD JPY. Let's see if we're going to be having a second opportunity on this one. So let's see if we're going to have that opportunity. If we have it, good, and if we don't have it, we'll pass the trade. Now we moved on to talk about the GBP card, where we saw a consolidation phase on the GBP card, and I told you that if you are taking the rejection here, I think there's the third rejection we're going to be having this week. If you are taking this rejection here, kudos to you. But one thing I said is to move your stop loss to break even. I'm not in this trade, I told you, because I'm waiting for price to actually give me that signal. If I cite a breakdown of the 1.50500 level, a retest of structure, then I want to be joining the decline to the downside on the GBP card. Then we went on to share something on the USD CHF, which I said is our pair for the week, is the trade for the week, USD CHF, which I was able to close with over 300 and close to 400 pips thereabouts on the USD CHF. I had multiple trades on this one. We had two trades since the beginning of the week where we took about 250 pips. I took this one, two opportunities here, and the second one from this point. And then during the course of yesterday's trading session, we saw the breakdown of this level and price came back to do a retest. Then I joined the decline into the 0.95700, which also gave me another 180 pips here on the USD CHF. So kudos to you for being part of this journey on the USD CHF. And for those who missed out on this one, we were able to look if there is a possibility that we could be having another opportunity here. But one thing I said here is that we have this key level at the 0.95700, which appears to be rejected right now. The last candle on this one was bullish, and I said we want to see how price action is going to relate with the 0.95700 level. How we're going to be having a reversal pattern. So let's see if we are going to have a multiple rejection of this level. So if we have a second test, that is price does not close below the previous low, then we could be expecting that this could evolve into a reversal pattern where a breakout retest of structure on lower time frame could confirm a trend continuation to the upside. Remember, this move to the upside is likely going to be a retracement move of the previous impulse leg that we identified here. So if this happened, then if you are a counter trend trader or a short-term trader, you could take advantage of that move into our golden zone area. But mind you, this is a long-term bearish momentum. Since the beginning of the week, we've been selling the USD CHF. So a retracement into this area could incite a trend continuation to downside. So let's see how price action plays out during the New York session today, and we'll come back here on Monday to see how we are going to trade the USD CHF. Then we went on to talk about the silver, where we are in profit on the silver after citing the breakout of the $18.50 area. So the breakout of the $18.50 area yesterday gave us a signal of a bullish momentum, and I told you that you have another opportunity if price comes back into the zone. And in fact, we saw multiple rejection of this level. We saw like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 rejection of that level. So if you had missed the first one, there is a second. If you have missed the second, there is the third one. If you had missed the third, there is the fourth and fifth and sixth one to have joined this rally to the upside here. So on this one, we're in profit already on this one, and I told you I actually opted out of this trade at the $18.80 area. So $18.90 area when I saw price break down the previous low. Here I opted out of that trade, and I told you that there is still another opportunity for us on the silver if you are yet to join this rally. Let's wait for price to come into the buy zone around our golden zone area here. If we see a sharp rejection of this area between the $18.64 and the $18.50 area, if we see a sharp rejection of that area or multiple rejection of that area, we want to be joining that trade. And if you are still in this trade, then a multiple rejection of the buy zone area is another opportunity to add more position to our existing position, with a take profit target sitting around the $19.1 area and the $19.2 area during the New York session today. So that is that on the silver. And then we closed the day with the GBP USD, which a couple of people brought up, and I had no choice than to treat it so that I compensate for my lateness today. So we saw the scenario here on the GBP-CHF on the 4 hours time frame. We saw a reversal pattern after citing a neckline right at the 1.15750. We saw a breakout of that structure. We saw a breakout of the neckline here, which is giving us a signal of a strong bullish momentum coming in. And whenever we cite a signal like this, that is a breakout of structure, we expect that price will come back to do a retest of that structure to give us further confirmation to join a trend continuation to the upside. So we are either looking for a rejection, multiple rejection of the 1.15750 area to join the rally to the upside, or we either, if price breaks down that level, then we want to be waiting for price to come within the 1.1500 area for buying opportunity on the GBP USD. So this is how we intend doing that. I'm not sure if this is going to happen today, and if it doesn't, then we wait for next week when we want to take advantage of that move. But if it happens, be ready, be on standby to take advantage of that move when it finally matures. So on this note, I would like to call it a day. We were able to treat about 7 pairs for today, and that's quite a lot of opportunities lining up for us during the New York session today. And like I always say, remember that we don't want to get too excited at the sight of signals like this. Whenever we sight a signal, it could be your engulfing bearish candle right out of the structure, or your engulfing bullish candle right of the structure. We don't want to get too excited, as we want to wait for confirmation to happen in the form of a retest of that structure before we join the potential rally or decline. And remember, if the retest does not happen, if the confirmation does not happen, we pass the trade and be fine about that. There are quite a lot of opportunities in the trading market that will definitely give you confirmations to join the potential opportunity. So thank you for being around with me. I really appreciate, and like I said, I'm sorry for being late, but I was able to compensate for that. I hope so. And I wish you best of luck during the New York session today. I wish you a wonderful weekend as well, and I look forward to seeing you guys Monday morning as usual, 10 a.m. West African time, 11 a.m. UTC, as we come here again to prepare ourselves against the New York session for Monday. So thank you once again, and do have a wonderful day. Bye bye.